So Chad and James had actually seen something, and as I walked over there, I discovered this track on the ground. And it was very visible and clear to me that it was not a deer, and it was abnormal. I think it's a handprint track. Maybe it could be on its knuckles or something, but it's really good and defined, and clearly not a deer track. We were seeing deer tracks all over the place, and this definitely was not that. Again, there's no black bears down this far in Michigan, especially in that area. There's just no way a black bear would be hanging out. I think it is a handprint of a Sasquatch. In fact, it's the same one that James and Chad had seen about 30 seconds before. If you watch the video, I actually filmed the area. We hear it creep up, and I stopped filming for about 30 seconds. They had their encounter, and I start filming again. And I walk to the spot, and before I get there, I'm about 20 feet away, I look down and clearly see the track. And it kind of just put us in a tailspin, and I was more focused on that track than trying to find the individual they had seen. To me, it is definitely legit. From my experience, I have never come across a track as good as this. I have one other one that looks pretty good, but this was definitely so much clearer. And I'm hoping to be able to find more in this place. We found some other ones that were possibly a maybe, but this one was very clear and defined. Earlier in the video, we had found impressions in some leaf litter, and it looked like someone stepped with a foot, no hoof or anything, and it was in a spot where basically they would crawl into this opening, and it would lead to very dense pricker bushes and thickets that if any of us tried to go in, we would definitely have to crawl. So I think they are crawling in that area. I mean, it makes logical sense. If you're super tall and big, if you crawl down and get half your size you normally would be, you're able to, keep out of sight and be more stealthy. And that print to me looks like it was crawling, and it's I think it's a handprint track. From my experience, I think that is a handprint track, and it's crawling, and it showed up really good. Unfortunately, we did not have casting material, and if we did, I don't think we would have had enough time to stay out there. It was actually a very short kind of planning. We didn't really have that much time to spend there, and we honestly didn't expect to find all that. Chad hadn't been there for about 2 years, and we didn't know how the activity was going to be, if they were still there or around or completely left. But from our findings is that they were there, or at least one is. I believe there's probably more than one there. Usually they're in groups or. So with what they had seen and this print that we had found, and some very interesting tree structures that are definitely not nature in that same area. And if you watch the video, the day trip video with Chad and James, that place where we found a bunch of tree structures and we put apples inside of the tree. We had the nest. We found the impressions right there, but the whole ground is very clean. There's spots with like no branches in it at all, and it seems to me that they were stacking some, and basically it looks like they manipulated the area to funnel deer through certain paths for them to ambush them during summer. During summer it's more green, more foliage, and the way they have everything manipulated, it looks like it would work to their advantage, funneling deer to the area. So I think that's what's going around. going on. The area was very cleaned up. I don't see why a person would do that. You're not supposed to camp there or anything like that. And from all the people that we talked to and spoke to just briefly, it seems like they all stay on the trail. They don't go off trail. And in fact, there's a lot of missing dogs in the area. Over the years that Chad has been there, there was missing dogs and missing dog posters. And when Chad and James went back to check the apples, there was a lady looking for her dog. It had gone missing from her yard, not too far away. And so I think that, they're grabbing dogs every once in a while, eating them. And but there is a lot of other animals in the area. We found a lot of squirrel tracks, a lot of deer tracks, and obviously that print, which obviously to me, it's the best print I found. I've seen. I've seen one print when I was younger. It was a small print. It looked like a foot. It was pretty good. And then I took a picture of a print that was on a trail, and a bike ran over it, actually. And that track was good. Just didn't show up good on camera. It was right on the trail. It actually crossed the trail, and a bike had ran it over, I'm guessing just an hour or two before I had made it there. Luckily, I came across it. It was kind of a key find. That's why I kind of am partial to it. But otherwise, it would have been a bear, and there's no bears here in Lower Michigan. There's not supposed to be, and there's not been any reported sightings there in that area, and also in this area where we found this track. So, and James and Chad had just seen this, had seen one. What they had thought, they had seen a black mass that had moved out of the way. They both had seen it at the same time. They both had talked about it. They went over there. They did some comparisons a couple days later, and it was actually bigger than what they thought. So, the creature is definitely crawling, in my opinion, and that's why I think it's a handprint.